Yo, love, love and wholeness. We are here today. I am here for a good time, not a long time. Let's get into it. So, this video, building off of my last short, um, just, you know, was reminded of the concept of, being still and silent, you know, being in the present moment in order to hear, you know, the voice. To hear that voice, you got to be still. You got to be present. You got to be able to block everything out. Got to be able to do it. The science of silence while being still is a biological necessity, not a luxury. Yeah, you got to be able to be silent. I'm someone I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. I'm out the door before 5. I understand what it means to, have to be on the move, to, feel as though you don't have any time for yourself, any space for yourself, just a moment to be able to gather your thoughts. But, I'm someone who has put in practices in order to be able to sit still, even in, amongst the chaos, amongst all the movement that I do have going on. So yeah, let's get into it. But before, let's watch this video right quick.
As we said, the autonomic nervous system has two divisions. These divisions actually serve the same parts of the body, but they have opposing roles. The parasympathetic division is for rest and digest actions. It directs the digestion of food and the expulsion of waste, along with other maintenance-related actions that occur best in a state of relaxation. The sympathetic division, on the other hand, springs into action in emergency situations, enacting the fight or flight instincts, raising the heart rate, constricting blood vessels, and releasing more glucose from the liver, all actions that help an organism evade danger. These two systems work together most of the time to keep the body running smoothly, a process called dual innervation. But in specific moments, one may dominate depending on the immediate needs of the organism. To get a bit more specific about the anatomy of these divisions,
So yeah, wanted to show that short clip just to give a, brief explanation on the differences between the sympathetic and parasympathetic systems, nervous system, should I say. Um, both important pieces to your nervous system, but, they play various roles, and you want to be able to tap into one versus the other. And, I would suggest the parasympathetic system, allowing you to be able to be present, not in that fight or flight, um, you know, chronically stressed state of being. Yeah, your sympathetic system is that fight or flight system activated during chaos, releases cortisol and adrenaline, increases heart rate, and redirects blood to muscles. It is essential for survival, but toxic when chronic. I'm sure we all know people who are dealing with, just chronic stress, and it's, leading them to aging, leading people to, early deaths, all because we don't know how to, tap into ourselves. The parasympathetic system is your rest and digest system. the antidote to stress. This decreases heart rate, promotes healing, and restores emotional balance. Stillness is the primary gateway to this state. Yeah, so you tap into your parasympathetic system, your rest state, by being still. The cost of chronic noise. 90% of physician visits, are due to this matter. Stress-related illnesses. Research indicates that up to 90% of primary care visits are related to stress-induced conditions. When we fail to find stillness, our body pays a price through inflammation, insomnia, and burnout. I definitely know, people dealing with illnesses that, if they knew how to be still and present, wouldn't be such a problem. Defining true stillness. A state of being. Stillness is not just the absence of movement, it is the presence of awareness. In chaotic times, it acts as a buffer between the external world and our internal reaction. Yeah, I can definitely relate to this slide. Like I said earlier, I'm definitely somebody who is just always on the move, just doing the type of work that I do. I'm in loud environments. I'm around crazy people, loud people who don't care. Yeah, they don't care. And I have to figure out a way to be, present and still with myself. You know, always, yeah, just always being still and present. It's just the key to everything, not letting anything get to you. Um, yeah, dealing with a lot all the time, but, just letting all that dirt, brushing all that dirt off your shoulders, should I say. A little more sciencey stuff. The vagus nerve connection, your inner control center. The vagus nerve is the longest nerve in the body, connecting the brain to the heart, lungs, and gut. It is the main component of the parasympathetic nervous system. High vagal tone equals fast recovery from stress, versus a low vagal tone equals chronic anxiety and fatigue. Stillness techniques tune this nerve, enhancing your ability to stay calm under pressure. So yeah, in my videos moving forward, I want to get more, scientific, should I say. I've studied a lot, just in regards to health, understanding the body, through practicing on myself, something I've been doing, since over, probably 15 years now, I can say. But yeah, I want to, start speaking and talking about, the things that I've learned and studied over these past few years that have, benefited me, my personal health, and practices that I've shared with others that they've shown evidence of, showing proof things working. But yeah, I've definitely was somebody who has lived under chronic stress. You see me now, I have long locks. It was a period of time where I had to baldy like Tupac, dealing with alopecia. I had to cut it all off because, I didn't understand how to be present in all the chaos that I was dealing with at that time. So yeah, putting different practices in place. Again, experimenting on myself and becoming my own testimony, should I say. Activation techniques, so practical tools for tapping into the parasympathetic nervous system. Breath work, box breathing, 4-4-4 or 4-7-8 breathing sends an immediate signal to the brain that you are safe. I'm not going to get into the, these various practices here, but I'll definitely say breath work is my number one tool just for tapping into being still. I practice breath work throughout the day. So, one of the first things I do as I'm waking up and, on my movement, I'm practicing breathing, with intention, being able to, control my consciousness on purpose and be able to place myself wherever I want to be. Cold exposure, splashing cold water on your face or a cold shower triggers the mammalian die reflex, slowing the heart. Not something I always do, on purpose, but yeah, when hot water does run up, I definitely give myself a little cold exposure shower. So, so when I utilize that technique, vocal toning, humming, chanting, or singing vibrates the vocal cords, which are directly connected to the vagus nerve. Yeah, whenever I get a chance to, just be walking somewhere, and nobody I know is around, I might be sounding like a crazy person, but kind of just yelling, working on my vocal cords, just getting energy out, man. That's all it's about, just working on your energy. But breath work, number one, is important. I do, I practice, my breath work on a daily basis, a lot throughout the day. Seriously. Calming, yeah, I won't go over this slide, but breath work is important. Mindfulness, cold exposure exercise. Exercise, you got to get up and move. I move enough, but breath work, people definitely don't understand the importance of sitting still and just intentionally breathing, utilizing your diaphragm, taking in as much, I'm not going to get into that right now, but yeah, look up some videos on YouTube on breath work and get some practice in. And yeah, here's our last slide. In an age of speed, nothing could be more invigorating than going slow. In an age of distraction, nothing is more luxurious than paying attention. And in an age of movement, nothing is more necessary than sitting still. Yeah. I'm not too much else to say after, everything I said and just want to end it on that quote there. But yeah, I know it's easy to, again, just get caught up in everything, you see going on outside of yourself. But nothing really matters externally. Everything, matters internally. So yeah, learn to just be present, sit with yourself, and that's how you move the universe. Catch y'all next time. Love, wholeness.